What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's cracking, y'all? Thanks for stopping in. Getting back into our top 10 role players of all time. Well, my top 10 role players of all time. So, looking back on it, at number 10, I had Steve Kerr. Number 9, I had Bruce Bowen. Number 8, Lamar Odom. Number 7, Danny Ainge. Number 6, Tony Kukoc. Number 5, Manu Ginobili. And number 4, here we are today with the one, the only, Michael Cooper. Yes, Michael Cooper of the Los Angeles Lakers. A very important member of the Showtime era. Michael Cooper was there in LA for all 5 of those notorious championships, led by Irving Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Michael Cooper is one of those guys that probably you won't hear his name mentioned much or as often, as obviously Magic Johnson, Kareem, and I guess you could say James Worthy as well, Michael Thompson to some degree, but Coop was an exceptional defensive player, and you can argue that he was the defensive cornerstone on that basketball club. It was Michael Cooper. Phenomenal defensively. And though not an isolation scorer or a guy that you're going to run plays for, he was often a recipient of the Magic Johnson assists, especially in the fast break. Could shoot the mid-range jumper, had good hands, and was a very reliable player that you could put the ball in his hands to finish shots while being set up. Just a quick rundown of Coop's profile and accomplishments and accolades. Michael Cooper was about 6'7", 170 pounds, drafted in 1978 in the third round, 60th overall pick, third round. Keep that in mind. Played from 1978 to 1991. Pretty much primarily played shooting guard, but at times he would play the 3 and mostly 2 and 3. Mostly 2 and 3. But he did play point guard. Whenever Magic Johnson or Norm Nixon didn't play, Michael Cooper was inserted in as point guard and could pass the basketball. He could. And that's another point. No pun intended. That's another point we should probably talk about, is that he was a damn good passer. But like I said, he was only the point guard when Magic or Norm wasn't around. But in the event they were out, they could trust Michael Cooper to get in there and run the offense and make the right play, make the right pass. That's another part of his game that gets overlooked. But he played a role. Michael Cooper played his entire NBA career with the Los Angeles Lakers. Like I said earlier, he's a 5-time NBA champion. Got NBA Defensive Player of the Year 1 time. 5-time NBA All-Defensive First Team. 3-time All-NBA Defensive Second Team. As far as his career stats, none of these numbers are going to jump out at you, but if you've been a member of this channel, I'm not a big stats guy. I put stats in the context, but you got to watch games. You got to understand the value of some players where numbers don't justify who the hell they are. But as far as the major statistical categories, points, rebounds, assists, etc., he had about 8.9 points per game, about 3.5 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists per game, and about 1.2 steals per game. And he never breached 10,000 total accumulated values in any of those major statistical categories. But like I said, you cannot boil down some players to just stats. You have to understand what they mean to the team, their role, to understand their value and their worth. And Michael Cooper was extremely important cornerstone. Obviously, he was there for the entire run. A Laker for his entire pro NBA tenure. That should tell you a lot about what he meant to the team. Michael Cooper was that guy whose assignment was to guard either the best shooter or the best perimeter player on the opposing team. He was the guy guarding the Charles Barkleys and the Larry Birds of the world. Larry Bird himself said that Michael Cooper was the toughest guy to play defense on him. That's coming from Larry Bird, one of the most elite basketball players to ever play the game. A guy that often made people look stupid and had his way with them. He said Michael Cooper was that guy that was most difficult for him. I ain't making this up. Talk to Bird. Michael Cooper had very sound defensive techniques. Coop was just a fundamentally sound defensive player. He stuck to the fundamentals. He wasn't one of these guys, and there's not a lot of defense in the league today, but a lot of people don't understand the basics. They try to play defense with their hands more than they play defense with their feet. Michael Cooper understood this. If you go watch his highlights, go watch his tapes, you'll see what I'm talking about. The guy moved his feet. He shuffled his feet. He often kept his body low, used his body, steered offensive players certain directions with his feet, his lower body, and then putting his chest out. The goal, yes, getting a steal and a strip is great, but more than anything, if you can lock a guy down, force him to pass the basketball, or just make it difficult, you're also doing a great job too. You don't always have to gamble and go for the steal. Michael Cooper understood this. And of course, he got a bunch of steals. Michael Cooper had good hands, and he also played the passing lane. He was very long, had these long-ass arms, these long-ass legs, and he had a high basketball IQ, and he was a specialist on defense. You put all this together, and you're going to get a guy that's going to make it very difficult for you for a long night. It's going to get some deflections, and it's going to make it difficult for you when you have the ball in your hand, and even when you don't have the ball in your hand. How he was exceptionally good at, cutting off passing lanes and also denying his assignment to basketball as well. I don't know how many championships Showtime era, or let's just say the 80s. I don't know how many championships those guys would have won without Michael Cooper's defensive contributions. It was that major. I find it interesting that a lot of people don't bring this up, and we all know Magic Johnson wasn't really a defensive player, but having Michael Cooper there made life a lot easier for Magic Johnson, because a lot of times the guy Magic was supposed to be guarding or should have been guarding, that was now Michael Cooper's assignment. And Magic didn't have to work as hard on defense some nights when they had that prolific guy that Michael Cooper was guarding, and Magic could focus more on offense. I don't think that gets brought up enough. He made life easier for the Lakers as a whole, but especially Magic Johnson. And like I said, not only the defense, he had good hands. He was often the guy on the fast break, the recipient of the exceptional Magic Johnson pass. Great hands. A high flyer. Could really dunk the basketball. Get his whole damn arm above the rim. Armpit at the rim. Yamming on him. One hand, two hand, reverse. Man, I seen this dude catch rebounds. Miss shots, miss layups in the fast break. Catch it in the air. Catch it in the air and go straight into a reverse slam. Like, he had great hands. Great coordination. You could trust Michael Cooper to pass that ball to him and finish. A lot of people wasn't willing to jump with Michael Cooper all the time. I think Michael Cooper is also underrated in-game dunker. Yeah, I do think that. Underrated in-game dunker. That dude could put you on a poster quick. I'm sure you heard of the Koopa Loop before. For all you 80s basketball fans out there. I think that's what they were calling it every time Michael Cooper caught a lob. The Koopa Loop. I guess you could call him King Koopa. Sorry, Bowser. No disrespect. Having a guy like Michael Cooper on your team that was such a defensive ace, given his height, about 6'7", and he was mobile, it just does so much, especially in switching situations, because you could feel comfortable switching if you had to, because Michael Cooper could guard the 1, 2, 3, and the very, very occasional 4, but typically the 1, 2, and 3, you felt comfortable switching because you knew Coop could stick with him, and he had the length, and he had the feet, the footwork to do it. Even when Michael Cooper would get beat off the dribble, he could recover quickly and still deflect shots. Michael Cooper was also another guy doing the chase down block before LeBron James. People think LeBron James originated the chase down block. No, there are people doing it before him. A la Michael Cooper, Secretary of Defense. I'm not calling Michael Cooper the Secretary of Defense. I'm talking about the boy, SecDef, Bobby Bleepin' Jones. LeBron James popularized it because he did it so damn much, and he's hyper athletic, but he wasn't the first one doing it. Michael Cooper was getting a fair amount of chase downs. People think they got an easy layup, but give me that. Give me that. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Go check out our top 10 role players of all time. Go check out the playlist. You could check for it in the description of this video as well. I'm pretty slow cranking these out. I'm being really bad with it. I can't lie. But Michael Cooper, ladies and gentlemen, if you got anything you want to add to this, you guys, especially you guys that watch basketball in the 80s, know so much more than I do. Share your comment, share your facts, share your experience in the comment section. Let me know what you would like to add, things that I might have left off, because I don't know everything, and I do my best to watch some of these guys and learn about them, given I didn't get to watch them, but I do what I can. All right. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Catch you on the next one. We out, baby.